Okay, I just did mute all because I have no idea where she's coming from. Okay, so that worked. Okay, everybody, we're going to start now. So welcome, good morning, and today we're going to be talking about the Curriculum Implementation Scale. This scale was mentioned previously at one of your CCR&R meetings that was conducted by Michelle and Fairshea. So we're going to go a little bit more in depth with this scale and talk to you about how you're going to implement it with your classroom observations in the field. So just a little bit of introduction. What we're currently using, we know that with our adoption of Tier 1 curriculum, there's little data available about the implementation of that curriculum. We know that steadily rates have risen for the Tier 1 curriculum purchases of our early child care centers. It started at 48% in 15-16, 76% 16-17, and currently last year it was at 83% of our type 3 centers owned a Tier 1 curriculum. Now this doesn't say how many curriculums are purchased or whether or not it is for all of the classrooms. So we need a little bit more specific data at a classroom level. For example, do all ages have equal access to a curriculum? Are teachers prepared and receiving professional development on how to implement that curriculum? And how are teachers using the curriculum? Do they just have a curriculum that's sitting in the box in their classroom, or are they actually using all of the elements that are found within that curriculum? So greater knowledge of how curriculum is being implemented at the classroom level will inform ongoing training and support. So coaches from our R&Rs will evaluate curriculum implementation at the classroom level when providing job-embedded coaching. A coach will collect information using a uniform scale of look-fors and standardized criteria. A look-for should be just a quick yes, no, identifiable teacher behavior, such as is the classroom schedule posted, or is there evidence of curriculum implementation by child work being posted on the walls. So something that's quick, easy, and easy to identify. The results of the scale will be tracked statewide to drive future curriculum supports and improvement efforts. So here's a little bit of detail about what that curriculum implementation scale looks like. So we have 5 levels, level 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the tool is intended to be used by our field support consultants and by our R&Rs in birth to 5 settings, especially older infants, toddler, and 3-year-old classrooms. Later, we might be able to share a pre-K foundational tool, but that's not ready to be released at this time. So this is the only tool that you will be using, and you can use it in the classrooms of any teacher that you are providing technical assistance and coaching for. So if a teacher scores a level 0, that means that they're not using a high quality curriculum. They may have a curriculum that they purchased, but they're not using it at all. If a teacher scores a level 1, they have limited access to a high quality curriculum. Maybe there is a curriculum on site, or maybe they'll use bits and pieces from a curriculum that might be from a different classroom, but they do not have their own curriculum and they are not using it exclusively. If a teacher scores a level 2, then they are using a high quality curriculum. Teacher is using a high quality curriculum that's matched to the developmental level of the majority of the children in the classroom. So if it's a 3-year-old classroom, then the teacher should be using if majority of the children are 3 years old, then the teacher should be using a curriculum that is targeted for a 3-year-old. And the teacher is aware of all of the components of the curriculum. And then we'll talk about some of the look-fors that you'll be identifying during the observation. So to score a level 2, a teacher should have 4 to 5 of the look-fors. A level 3, the teacher has attended curriculum training. So they meet all of the criteria identified for level 2, and in addition to that, the teacher has had basic training that equips her with the knowledge and skills to use the curriculum as written. This does not mean a quick little how-to training that was maybe conducted by another teacher or the director. This should be a formalized training that was conducted by an R&R or by a curriculum vendor. And in addition to those, they should also have 6 to 9 of the look-fors that we will be mentioning later. If a teacher receives the level 4, then the teacher meets all of the criteria in level 2, level 3, and in addition to that, uses assessment data to drive curriculum instruction. And also would include 10 to 11, which would be all of the look-fors. So this is kind of our gold star of curriculum implementation. If a center lacks a high-quality curriculum, so if they receive that 0 to 1, there are still funds available in the Childcare Curriculum Initiative, and we'll be talking about that later at the end of this webinar. So a list of Tier 1 curriculum can be found on the Louisiana Believes website at that link right there. And the site director should continue using the CCR&R application to submit reimbursement requests as done before. The R&R would submit the forms via EGMS when the application is complete, and then reimbursements will be distributed after approval. So we mentioned earlier the look-fors. Those are those easy checks to see if a curriculum is being implemented with fidelity. So these are the 5 elements of quality curriculum implementation with corresponding look-fors that can be easily identified by observers. The first one will be the teacher is following a detailed daily schedule that is clearly posted. Teacher and children are engaging with Tier 1 curriculum aligned materials. Teacher follows curriculum guidance and shows evidence of purposeful planning. Teacher uses appropriate modifications and accommodations as indicated in the curriculum to meet individual children's needs. For example, English language learners and children with disabilities. Teacher uses assessment tools to follow children's progress and guide planning. So all of our look-fors will fit under those 5 elements. So a level 2 or higher on the curriculum implementation scale will have 4 to 5 look-fors. So underneath the element of teacher is following a detailed daily schedule that is clearly posted, an observer could look for a daily schedule that is up to date and posted in a prominent area of the classroom. Under teacher and children are engaging with Tier 1 curriculum aligned materials, an observer could look for the teacher materials from the curriculum are evident and prepared for use, including a lesson plan, manual, and supplemental materials. Examples of the theme or lesson are evident in center materials, books, classroom displays, and/or child artifacts. Materials are labeled and stored where children can easily reach them. Interest areas are supplied with sufficient, developmentally appropriate, well-maintained materials. The environment is print-rich and includes displays that enhance learning in the content areas. Another element of look-fors, the teacher follows curriculum guidance and shows evidence of purposeful planning. Examples of look-fors could be there is evidence that activities, themes, and focus areas identified in the lesson plan are reflected in the classroom. Is the teacher actually teaching the things that she's written down in her lesson plan? The lesson is coherent, properly sequenced, and aligned to the curriculum. Pacing is on schedule so that children will engage with the full curriculum during the school year. You need help, you can access the curriculum map or a scope and sequence chart, or if it's maybe a curriculum that goes by months of the year, you can check to make sure that the teacher is following the appropriate month of the manual. Another element, teacher uses appropriate modifications and accommodations as indicated in the curriculum to meet individual children's needs. One might look for is the classroom set up in a way that is accommodating of individual differences. And the last element, teacher uses assessment tools to follow children's progress and guide planning. The teacher sets acceptable, measurable, and appropriate goals for children and is collecting evidence to measure progress. I know in our classrooms in Louisiana, we use goals to measure children's progress. So making sure that the teacher is collecting that evidence for gold. If they don't have any publicly funded children or may not be using gold to identify for all of their children, maybe they have a different method of assessment, or maybe they're using the assessment tool that is provided within the curriculum. Okay, so tallying to look for. Based on the 5 components of quality curriculum implementation, coaches will tally the number of observed look-fors. Based off of the look-fors and counted and the teacher's implementation on the scale, the coach will assign the teacher a level 0 through 4. The coach will report this data in the coaching session reporting data to the department. Each visit, the coach will reassess the classroom look-fors and report data to the department. So when looking at the look-fors, you do not have to have look-fors in each of those 5 elements. We're just counting and tallying up the total number of look-fors. Okay, let's practice seeing what this teacher will score. So for example, the lead teacher of the tiny toddler classroom at ABC Learning House is being observed using the Early Childhood Curriculum Implementation Scale. The teacher in this classroom shares a Frog Street 3's curriculum with another teacher, chooses some of the lessons, and tries to differentiate it for the younger audience. She reads all of the books within the curriculum and paces 2 weeks behind the pre-K 3 teacher so that they will not be competing for materials. During the observation, the coach observes the following 5 look-fors. There's a schedule, it's up to date and posted in the classroom. There are examples of theme and lesson, it's evident in the center materials, books, classroom displays. Materials are labeled and stored. Interest areas are supplied with sufficient developmentally appropriate materials, and the environment is print-rich and includes displays that enhance learning. What score would this teacher receive? Go ahead and type your answer in the chat feature. You're right, Paulo. This teacher would receive it too. They are using the curriculum, but it's not the curriculum for that grade level, for that age level, and they are not using their own personal curriculum. They're using parts of it that they've borrowed from another classroom. So even though they do have 5 look-fors that have been identified, they would still be scoring a level 2. Okay, let's look at this example. The lead teacher of the Bitty Baby infant class at ABC Learning House is being observed using the Early Childhood Curriculum Implementation Scale. This classroom purchased a creative curriculum infant curriculum. However, the teacher has not been trained on the curriculum. She scanned the curriculum material but fails to implement it daily with the children in her care. During the observation, the coach observes the following 3 look-fors. What score would this teacher receive? Right. The teacher would receive a 1 because even though they have a Tier 1 curriculum, they are not implementing it in the classroom. So they would need support provided by our coaches to help them and assist them in implementing it with fidelity. And a third example, the lead teacher of the Caterpillar's pre-K classroom is being observed using the Early Childhood Curriculum Implementation Scale. This classroom has purchased Creative Curriculum's pre-K curriculum. The teacher has attended training on the curriculum with her director. The teacher mentioned wanting to use PS Gold to assess children's fine motor skills with the hand motions for chicka chicka boom boom, but hasn't entered anything into the system. During the observation, the coach observes the following 6 look-fors. What score would this teacher receive? Right, this teacher would receive a 3. The teacher has attended curriculum training and she has 6 look-fors. She'd like to use more assessment data to guide her instruction, but hasn't fully done so. And in addition to that, she only has 6 look-fors. In order to receive a 4, you would need 10 to 11 look-fors. So she is definitely on the path to improving, and this would be a good indicator of where her coach would need to take her next. Okay, for the next part, we're just going to give a little heads up about where we are with the Child Care Curriculum Initiative. Currently, we just wrapped up the 2018-2019 school year, so all purchase requests should have been entered into EGMS before the start of July. We are working with our grants management to get the new application loaded into the system. So I will be sending information when that is done. No changes have been made to the application itself. We're still going to be using the same one as last year, but I will send out a newer version at the time when the money is available in the system. So just a reminder that we are still having that Child Care Curriculum Initiative, and to access it, you can click on the link or go to the Louisiana Believes website. Through this system, the department reimburses 80% of the purchase of choosing a Tier 1 curriculum. So our steps for child care providers would be: first, purchase the Tier 1 curriculum. They can look through and review the Tier 1 curriculum reviews that are found on the website. And they can purchase an infant, toddler, pre-K, pre-K3 curriculum kit from the list of approved vendors. Keep all invoices and delivery receipts. After the curriculum is purchased, contact the local resource and referral agency, and they would complete the application and sign the assurances. They would complete an implementation plan and provide receipts for the purchased curriculum, as well as the invoice and delivery receipts. They will get reimbursed 80%, maximum of $4,000 of the purchase after approval by the department. But child care providers should also make sure that they are following up with training for curriculum implementation. They should have their teachers participate in a general training on implementing the curriculum and provide updates and reports as requested by the CCR&R or by the department. Step 4, train your teachers on curriculum. So provide Tier 1 curriculum and materials to teachers with adequate training and time so they are prepared to use these tools. Ensure all classroom materials not included with the curriculum support children in meeting the standards. So make sure that your classrooms are not equipped with outdated materials that are no longer considered developmentally appropriate. And ensure all other training teachers receive support the instructional approaches and strategies found in the curriculum. Another important step for child care directors should also be to make sure that there is a plan in place for when new teachers enter the center, that they are also trained on the curriculum. Okay, step 5, enter curriculum implementation into Teaching Strategies Gold system. So they would enter all that information in the appropriate fields for all classrooms that currently have a Tier 1 curriculum, and contact me or Taylor Dunn if there are any challenges in entering this information. Our previous reports were you may purchase a maximum of 2 curriculum kits. This may be any combination of infant, toddler, or pre-K curriculum, or 2 of the same curriculum. And if they have previously participated in the Early Childhood Curriculum Initiative, they are welcome to participate again this upcoming year. Are there any questions about anything that we have discussed today? If so, raise your hand, or you can type it into the chat feature. We will be sending out a copy of this deck to share with anyone who may not have been available to participate in this training. And you are also welcome to reach back out to Michelle, Fairshea, or myself with any questions as they do arise. Okay, if no one has any questions, then we will end it here. Thank you for participating in this meeting. Oh, okay. Are you going to send the look forward? We can send the entire document, the entire curriculum implementation scale document. It has the scale in the front and then a back page that has the look forward. Yes, so I will save that as a PDF, and Michelle and Fairshea will get that to you along with the slides of today's presentation. Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you for attending and participating in this meeting, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.